Lethal autonomous weapons. Are they inevitable? Probably. Is it starting to smell a lot like World War I around here? Definitely. Today we'll be sharing from a feature in Nature magazine about the rise of AI weaponry and where it's headed and how it might be controlled in the future. The first quote to share is really a doozy. Warfare is a relatively simple application for AI. The technical capability for a system to find a human being and kill them is much easier than to develop a self-driving car. It's a graduate student project, says Stuart Russell, a computer scientist at UC Berkeley. And the money being spent on this is far beyond graduate level. The U.S. Department of Defense has $1 billion for its Replicator program, which is a fleet of small weaponized autonomous vehicles. So you have submarines, tanks, and ships that have AI to pilot and to shoot and to kill. But you don't need AI to do this. They're using commercially available drones and attaching grenades and bombs to them, and everything you're seeing in the Ukrainian theater right now, you get the drift of where all this is going, and that lots of countries are investing in this. Of course, there are two sides to this debate. One is that with better accuracy, this technology can reduce civilian casualties and reduce residential damage and things like that. The other side is the idea of catastrophic damage because of unforeseen circumstances, as well as using AI facial recognition to go in and only take out certain people or certain types of people in a society. There's also some interesting history here about other efforts to hold back military technology. Apparently medieval knights agreed that when they were jousting each other, not to target each other's horses with their lances. And then in 1675, the warring states of France and the Holy Roman Empire agreed not to poison their bullets. But the big convention right now that for current behavior is the Certain Conventional Weapons Treaty of 1983, and for instance it says that you're not allowed to use blinding laser weapons, which to me is an intriguing place to stop. All the ways you maim people on the battlefield, that's where they chose to draw the line. Of course, part of the problem here in making these treaties is what is a lethal autonomous weapon? There are over a dozen definitions being bandied around by different entities, especially depending on the politics of that entity, and people like Russia and the US and China who put a bunch of money into this already and obviously want to use it in the future. And also, you can see why they'd be interested. It was only a couple years ago that an F-16 fighter pilot, one of the best in the world, went up against an AI model in a simulated dogfight and lost. The AI is now better at dogfights using jets than we are. One suggested guideline is the human-in-the-loop model, where it has to be a human who pulls the trigger or at least designates a target. But of course, you can imagine militaries not wanting that because of the loss of speed of reaction that would happen. Lastly, how do you even verify these systems? For things like nuclear weapons, there is the Trust but Verify system where you go in and there are well-established procedures for auditing the nuclear material. But how do you do that when it's just a few lines of code that might be able to be changed remotely? It's tricky.